Lucas has pleaded not guilty. The 21-year-old intern died after he was hit by a stray bullet near Washington's Mount Vernon Square on the night of June 30th. Authorities last month arrested two 17-year-old suspects being charged as adults. Rich Thomason, Washington.
President Donald Trump has opened the door for sanctions to be imposed on Nigeria for failing to rein in the persecution of Christians in that country. Trump announced Friday he would designate Nigeria a country of particular concern. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters. This story.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
Answering the call. Running in when everything you feel says run out. Pushing yourself beyond your known limits to help. Living to tell the story. Visit scvolunteerfire.org.
This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornblut.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the High School Football Scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornblut with you, not in our studios in Columbia tonight, from our international studios in Atlanta, on call for some family business this weekend, but very happy to be able to break away and rejoin you for the High School Scoreboard tonight after the guys took care of Sports Talk earlier tonight. Tell you what, this is the last Friday night of the regular season. Some teams wrapped up the regular season last week. Some wrapped up last night. Had a lot of games, especially in the Low Country, to be played last night, and then the rest being played tonight. So tonight, of course, means playoff spots up for grabs, region titles up for grabs. And tomorrow you'll need to check out your local outlets to see what the playoffs look like beginning for next week. But tonight, it's all about giving you those final scores and telling you what we can about what's happened in the various regions around South Carolina. David Shelton will be joining us momentarily to add his insight to everything that we talk about tonight. And we'll have plenty of reports from folks who have been at the games tonight, and maybe grab a coach or two as well as we go through the show tonight. But let's get to the scores, because we've got a bunch of them with games being played last night. We have got a bunch of finals to talk about. So what you're going to have, of course, is a mix of final scores from last night and tonight. So in the upstate, Fountain Inn over Southside, 63-0. Westside beat Wren 21-7. Blacksburg topped Liberty 7-0. In the fourth quarter, Blue Ridge 43, Berea 0. Southside Christian over Carolina 56-6. That's a final. Third quarter, Broome leading Chapman 36-26. Chesney beat Landrum 64-24. Dorman, a winner over Eastside, 40-12. That gives Region 2, 5A to the Cavaliers. How about that? Who had that on their bingo card at the beginning of the season? Great job by Dorman, 49-12 over Eastside. In the fourth quarter, Gaffney leading Wade Hampton, 39-0. In the fourth quarter, Daniel 26, Greer 7. Liberty beat Blacksburg 7-0. Strom Thurmond over 96, 32-3. That's a fourth quarter score. Also in the fourth, Pickens 35, Travelers Rest 21. In the fourth quarter, Spartanburg 34, Riverside 13. Woodruff beat Union County 43-6. So Woodruff on a roll going into the playoffs. Early in the year, it looked like Union County was going to have kind of a bounce-back season, but once region play got underway, Yellow Jackets had a tough time winning. They fall tonight 43-6. Belton Honeypath over Walhalla 62-7. In the fourth quarter, it's Hillcrest 44, Woodmont 6. Westside beat Wren 21-7. Abbeville downs Ware Shoals 37-16. Both teams, of course, headed to the playoffs. Ware Shoals was undefeated, I think, going into that game tonight. Abbeville, with that win, I believe, clinches that region. 37-16 for the Panthers. In the fourth quarter, Powdersville 41, St. Joseph's 21. In the fourth quarter, Pendleton 21, Crescent 14. Malden beat Man 48-6. In the fourth quarter, Lawrence is leading Emerald 17-15. Ooh, one of the better games of the night in the fourth quarter. T.L. Hanna 21, Greenville 21. Good game there. Fountain Inn leading Southside. Make that Fountain Inn defeated Southside. Final score of 63-0. Greenwood all over Easley. Final score 49-7. Dixie beat McCormick 41-12. Christ Church leading Palmetto in the fourth quarter 34-21. In the fourth quarter, Burns no trouble tonight with Boiling Springs leading 42-7 again. That's in the fourth quarter. Let's go to the Rock Hill 77 corridor. And South Point all over Richland Northeast last night by a final of 70-0. And Northwestern defeats Indian Land big 51-13. York 36, Lancaster 7. Third quarter scores probably moved into the fourth. Nation Ford and Fort Mill tied at 35. In overtime, Catawba Ridge edges Clover 22-21. In the fourth quarter, Lamar 20, Louisville 7. Sherrod beats Chesterfield 51-0. In the fourth, Central 42, North Central 7. In the fourth, Andrew Jackson 29, Buford 0. McBee beats Great Falls 35-24. In the fourth quarter, no, we gave you that score. Gaffney 39, Wade Hampton 0. Let's see. In the final score, okay, a final score, the game of the night, the big showdown in Columbia. Dutch Fork beats Irmo 28-21. So Dutch Fork downs Irmo 28-21. They'll go to separate playoff divisions. So Irmo takes its first loss of the season. Dutch Fork moves on 28-21. Ridgeview leading Blythewood 32-0. That's a third quarter score. Sumter leading Westwood 31-0. That was a third quarter score. West Florence over Spring Valley 21-8. That was a third quarter score. South Florence big over Hartsville 51-23. Daniel defeats Greer, make that third quarter score. Daniel 26, Greer 7. Third quarter, Myrtle Beach 16, North Myrtle Beach 6. Third quarter, Fairfield Central and Columbia shown as scoreless. Fourth quarter, Carolina Forest 49, Conway 0. And let's see. In the Midlands, Camden. Let's see here. I got to double check this score. I've got it differently. They showed Camden 40-28 over AC Flora, but I believe I saw it the other way around. I'll have to double check that score. Greenwood 49, Easley 7. Some of these we may have already given you. Let's try the Low Country. Somerville 37, Fort Dorchester 14. Berkeley 35, Cane Bay 7. Stratford 48, Goose Creek 0. James Island 55, Stone 0. These were played all last night. Ashley Ridge 35, West Ashley 0. And back in the Midlands, White Knoll beat Chapin 42-7. Bamberg Earhart defeats Denmark Oler tonight. A score just in. Bamberg Earhart 56 and Denmark Oler 0. All right, let's go to the back into the Midlands. And it was Pelion 56, American Leadership 7. Crestwood 35, Lakewood 22, Gray Collegiate 40, Gilbert nothing, Airport 20, Brooklyn Casey 13. And I got to double check this AC Flora Camden score. We had it that I saw 40-28 Flora. But again, I got to double check that against that other score. PD Grand Strand, South Florence over Hartsville. 46-3 is the score we have here. Dillon beat Georgetown 46-7. And once again through the Low Country, Berkeley 35, Cane Bay 7, Stratford 48, Goose Creek nothing, Lucy Beckham 31, Wando 14, Ashley Ridge 36, West Ashley nothing, Somerville 37, Fort Dorchester 14. Let's make that Ashley Ridge 35, West Ashley nothing. James Island 55, Stall nothing, Bluffton 28, May River 21, and Hanahan 31, Battery Creek 21. All right, so there you go. That's what we have posted so far and scores that we have seen to this point. We'll continue to update things for you and bring you the latest scores as they become available to us. And then once we get some of our reporters in with us, got some games that are still running kind of late out there tonight. Once we get some of our reporters lined up and ready to go, we'll get those out to you. And, of course, David Shelton will be joining us as well when we come back from the break. So let's run to our first break, get everything reorganized and recalled up, and then we'll move on from there with the latest here on the high school football scoreboard. Hard to believe we've hit the final Friday night of the regular season. The playoffs will begin next week. Of course, you're going to have teams with first-round byes who won't play now for a couple of weeks. But for those who will be in action next week, it'll be do or die time when we come to you next week. We'll hit the break. Be back in just a moment.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
You work hard for your money. Shouldn't your money work hard for you too? Think about all the hours you've put in, the late nights, the early mornings, the dedication to your craft. Now imagine those dollars doing some of the heavy lifting for a change, growing quietly in the background while you focus on what matters most. Whether you're saving for a dream vacation, a new home, or just building a cushion for peace of mind, putting your money to work is one of the smartest moves you can make. Open a certificate at Founders Federal Credit Union and earn more with your savings. For a limited time only, Founders is offering 18-month certificates at 4.32% annual percentage yield and 18-month IRA certificates at 4.58% annual percentage yield. To get started, visit foundersfcu.com/dividend rates or one of our many convenient office locations. All you need is $500 to get started, but don't delay. These rates won't last. Open your certificate today. Your future self will thank you for opening a certificate at Founders. Federally insured by the NCUA. Membership qualification required. $500 minimum balance. 18-month term. Dividends compound quarterly. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to the High School Football Scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornblut joining you from our studios in Atlanta tonight. We have the plumber Josh Cohen at our studios in Columbia. David Shelton coming on board right now. Before we bring David on, let me give you a few more scores. These from the Midlands area, courtesy of News 19's Scoreboard. Ben Lippen loses to Augusta Christian 31-28. We told you about Dutch Fork beating Irmo 28-21. Northwood downed Heathwood Hall 39-20. Hunter Connor Tyler 28, Rich Spring Monetta nothing. In the PD, Manning over Lake City 40-13. Northside Christian beat Camden Military. Make that the other way around. Camden Military 56. Northside Christian 37. Wardlaw 50. Richard Wynn 28. Sumter beat Westwood 52-27. Newberry shut out Swansea 43-0. Wilson Hall 35, First Baptist 14. W.W. King 44, Lawrence Academy 22. And I cross-checked that score with Camden and AC Flora with the High School Sports Report's scores on their standings and their scores from last night, and they do show AC Flora winning that game over Camden. So with that, let's welcome in David Shelton of the High School Sports Report and the Charleston Post and Courier. Welcome in, David. How are you?
Doing good, Phil.
So far tonight, what do you think about what you've seen across the state? I guess we start with Irmo Dutch Fork, close ball game, and Dutch Fork, as Dutch Fork tends to do, finds a way to win.
Well, you know, I found it interesting. I was thinking about this about an hour ago. There were several undefeated teams playing tonight against defending state champions. And I don't know how Abbeville and Ware Shoals came out, but I know Abbeville was leading. But OW was undefeated, playing Oceanside, defending state title, got waxed. Irmo was undefeated, playing defending state champions, got beat. Indian Land was undefeated, playing defending state champion Northwestern. They got beat pretty good, from what I understand. And then the Abbeville Ware Shoals, you know, Abbeville's defending state champs, Ware Shoals undefeated. So I say that to make the point of if you wanna include yourself in the line of elite, you got to go beat state champions to do it. And it appears that none of them were able to do that tonight. Now, Newberry was undefeated, and they didn't play a defending state champ, but they're still undefeated. But, you know, it's just interesting. I said on Sports Talk tonight, I felt like the team that got to 28 points would win the game with Dutch Fork and Irmo, and that's exactly what happened. I didn't think there would be a lot of offense in that game. And, you know, they say, well, I mean, that's 49 points. That's a lot. But compared to what these two teams normally score, that's kind of a defensive struggle. So I just felt like Dutch Fork's defense was a tad better. Pretty much the same thing across the board with, you know, Northwestern's offense is unbelievable. Oceanside, even though they did not play great, I watched that game. It was a messy, ugly, penalty-filled game, but yet they still won by 35 points. So we're into the playoff season now for sure.
Yeah. What was the score on that OW-OC game?
49-13 Oceanside.
49-13 Oceanside. You know, you talked about that last week in talking about OW and how the fact that they had Oceanside coming up, and so a chance to prove themselves. They still had a good season, but like you pointed out, they were playing the best, and they came up short tonight. What'd you say, 49-13?
Yeah.
Oceanside Collegiate wins at 49-13 over Orangeburg-Wilkinson. All right. Philip Simmons beat Andrews 28-14. Pinewood Prep over John Paul II, 48-28. Hanahan beat Battery Creek 31-21. Why so many games in the Low Country played last night? Any particular reason?
Well, the Low Country is big on trick or treating, so I think not really. I think there's two things. I think Halloween. I think that tends to play a part in terms of attendance, but also I think a lot of these coaches just wanted an extra day. A day off, a day of preparation for the playoffs. Some of them are going to get a whole week because they're going to get buys, but it's not the first time that's happened. That so many have played the night before on Thursday night before the end of the regular season. So I think Halloween probably may have played a little bit of part on that. You don't want the kids to have to make a choice to go to a football game or go to trick or treating, because trick or treating is going to win every time. And just to note, Abbeville did beat Ware Shoals 37-16. That was their 50th consecutive region win and their 10th region championship in a row. So again, undefeated team playing a defending state champ, and the champ answers the bell. To be the man, you got to beat the man, as Ric Flair would say.
You got that right. Give me that score again. 37 to what?
16.
37-16. It's all about the A, as they say in Abbeville. All right, let's get to reporters as they start to join us after wrapping up their duties and wrapping up their games. Dennis Brunson joining us tonight, High School Sports Report, and he had the duties tonight in the PD to watch a Lake City team take on Manning. The Monarchs reign supreme, 40-13. Hello, Dennis.
Hey, Phil. How you doing, man?
Terrific.
Are you still in costume? That's what I want to know. I haven't heard. Are you still in costume right now?
I am back to my regular scary self. I'm in Halloween mode 365 days a year.
I got you, my friend. I got you. What was your costume?
Yep. My wife had me wear something related to.
Okay.
I had a little something related to popcorn. That's what it was. I had a popcorn thing on. So.
Okay.
Dennis, if you need to, I can send you a picture.
Well, Phil,
I can text you a picture.
Manning won its second straight Region 7 2A title. And Phil, I was there, and I'm pretty sure the final score was 40-12. I saw Lake City attempt an extra point, and it went wide left. So,
okay.
I'm pretty sure the final score was 40-12.
Okay, I can make that
Manning
correction.
Dominated the game. Lake City, first two plays, Jermaine Dobson broke off a 39-yard run and a 20-yard touchdown run. And then Lake City did not score again until 11 seconds were left in the game. In between, then Manning just ran up and down the field on Lake City, mainly behind the running of John Tavius Canny, who had 224 yards in the first half.
Whoa! And
had over 80 yards on a Manning drive where they did not score, but. Manning just big and strong up front, and they dominated the line and just pushed Lake City around. And they came back they lost their first region game of the season to East Clarendon, and I was at that game. And I remember Coach Reggie Kennedy, telling his team that, all right, guys, this is just the first game. We can win this region. It's going to take more than one. It's going to take more than one loss, and he was right. They came back. They ran the rest of the schedule, and they won the region for the second straight season. And just a great comeback. Reggie said after the game that he feels like this is one of the more talented teams he's had. It's just a very young team, because they lost a lot of good ball players from last year that were obviously big providers for a team that played for the lower state championship. But Reggie likes where they're at. and they're playing really good ball right now, playing strong on defense, and they've got the running game cranked up. They've got a big old offensive line, and Candy Kid's a great running back, but they've got a couple other kids that can run the ball pretty well too. Candy didn't play the first half of the season because of a dislocated hip, and he's just getting into form right now. So, and he was their leading rusher a year ago, had just under 1,000 yards, and he was also the leading tackler on the team. And he's just a good all around ball player.
What did he finish with? You said he had 200 plus in the first half. Do you know what he finished with?
I have not tallied it up, Phil. He didn't carry it that much in the second half, but I know he had to probably be around 270 or 280.
All right. Hey, Dennis, we got to run to the break. We appreciate it very much and look forward to talking to you in the playoffs as we move forward. There you go. Dennis Brunson, the story on an impressive win, a region-clinching win for Manning, and we'll be back after the break.
Game day isn't complete without repping your team. Whether you're in the stands, at home, or tailgating with friends, NFLShop.com has the gear every fan needs. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and sideline styles straight from the pros to you. Fresh arrivals drop all season long, so you'll always stay game day ready. Fan like a pro and shop now at NFLShop.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The government shutdown to come to an end. Coast to coast, fallout from the dysfunction of a shuttered federal government is hitting home. You'll find more online at srnnews.com. This is SRN News. I'm Ron Taylor.
Hi, everyone. Super Bowl champ Vernon Davis here from Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You can find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. The call is free, the consultation is free, and you can speak with a live agent right now. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident of any kind, call now to find out if you have a case and how much you could potentially get.
Thanks, Vernon. You heard it, folks. If you've been injured, call and find out how much you qualify for. Call 800-504-87.
Want to hear my success story? I'm Fran Halloran, the money coach. I'm celebrating a decade of partnering with The Point. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. I've used The Point to significantly grow my small business. It started with a meeting with Kevin Cohen. Do you own a small business? Are you on a limited budget? No problem. Reach out to Kev at 563-8558. Get a customized plan and start your journey to business growth with The Point today. Success is one call away. Take the leap.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
This Panther Update is brought to you by UNC Charlotte.
After losing in a blowout at home to one of the top teams in the AFC, the Panthers now go on the road to face one of the toughest teams in the NFC as they visit the Green Bay Packers. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers Update after this.
Charlotte's momentum has a name, UNC Charlotte, 32,000 students strong, ranked among the nation's top 75 public universities, recognized at the highest level for research, unmatched access to Fortune 500 companies, built for a top-tier city. This isn't typical higher ed. The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is Charlotte, UNC Charlotte.
trying to bounce back from their loss to Buffalo. Panthers visit the 5-1-1 Green Bay Packers on Sunday. They're coming off a 35-25 win over Pittsburgh. Tight end Tucker Kraft had a monstrous game with 7 catches for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Panthers linebacker Christian Roseboom on trying to keep him in check.
Yeah, he's strong. It's going to take more than one a lot of times. So, just slide to the ball. I think this league has so many good players, and he's one of them for sure. So, just being close to him on the checkdowns, but at the same time, just do what we need to do to, get off the field, get the ball back to our offense.
Defensively, Green Bay swung a huge deal to acquire all-pro edge rusher Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys. Panthers center Austin Corbett on the challenge that he provides.
Yeah, just a phenomenal athlete. He's got all the tools when it comes to an edge rusher. He's out on the edge. He'll come inside, over the center. He'll do it all from depth of linebacker level. Just a phenomenal athlete, and really, it's the great effort. I think you see so many plays, him chasing things down.
I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network.
This Panther Update has been brought to you by UNC Charlotte, built for a top-tier city. The difference is Charlotte. UNC Charlotte.
All right, we're back on the High School Football Scoreboard. Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornbluth, David Shelton, and the plumber, Josh Cohen. Great to have you with us wherever you're dialed in around the state of South Carolina tonight. Northwestern 51-13 over Indian Land. York beat Lancaster 36-7. Fort Mill 42, Nation Ford 35. So Fort Mill scores last to win that one. In overtime, Catawba Ridge beat Clover 22-21. Lamar has beaten Louisville 20-14. Sherrall 51-0 over Chesterfield. Central 42, North Central 7. In the fourth, Andrew Jackson 43-0 over Buford. McBee beat Great Falls 35-24. T.L. Hanna, a late field goal, beats Greenville 27-24. Gaffney 39-0 over Wade Hampton. Dorman beat Eastside 49-12. In the fourth, it's Spartanburg now only leading Riverside 20-19. Also in the fourth, Burns 42, Boiling Springs 14. Told you about Dutch Fork beating Irmo 28-21. Ridgeview leading Blythewood big 32-0. Sumter has finished off Westwood 52-27. West Florence 34, Spring Valley 8, South Florence 51. I've got two different scores here. High School Sports Report had it South Florence 51, Hartsville 3. David, is that what your understanding was? South Florence 51-3? David Shelton?
It's one, but I think Hartsville had more than 3 at halftime.
Okay. Well, I see two different scores. I'm looking at the scores that you guys have up on your website. Yeah. Tell Billy Baker. I'm looking at scores from the Rock Hill WRHI website. They've got it 51-23. So if you're telling me that, then I'm going to go back and change that to, what was it, 51? What did I say, 51-23, I think it was, is what I just said. 51-23. So let me go back and change that because I had both scores wrong. Okay, so we'll go with that tonight. You never know with these scores and what's right and what's not. You do the best you can with what you've got. Myrtle Beach over North Myrtle Beach, 29-23. Daniel beat Greer, 33-7. And Carolina Forest over Conway, 49-0. Woodruff beat Union County, 43-6. Westside 21, Wren 7. Greenwood 49, Easley 7. Now, see, this is they've got Camden on this website beating AC Flora 40-28, but again, the sports report has it the other way. David,
they played last night, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think AC Flora won the game.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
I think Lou had AC Flora winning it.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with that. River Bluff beat Lexington 38-17. Somerville over Fort D 37-14. Berkeley 35, Cane Bay 7. Stratford 48, Goose Creek nothing. James Island 55, Stone nothing. Ashley Ridge 35, West Ashley nothing. White Knoll 42, Chapin 7. David, with all the low country teams playing last night, all those finals from down in that in those regions, what did you take away from the games played last night? What kind of stood out to you?
Everything kind of went, as expected. I mean, there were no major upsets. Ashley Ridge is going to get the number 1 seed out of Region 8, even though there was a 3-way tie. They earned the tiebreaker, and they'll get to be at home as long as they can stay alive in the playoffs. So that's a big thing, and they get a bye next week. The interesting thing that comes out of all that, I have not confirmed this, but I was told today that Somerville, if they win next week in the first round, they will play Ashley Ridge in a rematch in the second round. So if that's the case, that means in the second round there's going to be a pretty dang good team that's going to be going home. So, but that's what you get with this new playoff thing. You're gonna see a lot of rematches. A rematch of games played during the regular season, and that's just the way it is. I mean, but nothing happened last night that was out of the ordinary. I mean, Philip Simmons beating Andrews was kind of predicted, and Stratford rolled past Goose Creek. Berkeley won easily. Beckham won easily over Wando. So it wasn't a whole lot of drama last night.
Okay, let's get to more reports. A lot of folks standing by. Let's welcome Justin Mathis in with the report on the Dorman win tonight. And with the win tonight, if I remember our report last week, Justin, the Dorman win tonight over Eastside clinches the region for the Cavaliers.
Yes, sir, that is correct, Bill. And also, this is the first region crown for the Cavaliers since 2019 when they had won 4 in a row. Got that confirmed with head coach Jake Morris after the game, but what a night for the Cavaliers. Obviously, there was the thought of could there be a potential hangover effect after an emotional win over a rival Gaffney last week, but the Cavaliers erased any doubt rather quick, like with a pair of rushing touchdowns by Nick Means, one from 20 yards out, the next from 18 yards out, which put him at 18 total touchdowns on the season, 17 by way of the ground. And then Meek Slidell had a standout game. The Dorman senior gunslinger threw a trio of strikes through the air for scores, 2 to Corey Cole, including, I believe that was about a 50-yarder, and then another one to Deshaun Watkins-Hines for 53 yards out. All in all, just a near-perfect performance by the Cavaliers. But the scary part is, Phil, Dorman hasn't played their best game yet. So just a great night for the Cavaliers. Meek Slidell especially. People had questions about him a few weeks ago, but I think he's answered all of those. But another standout game by the Dorman defense. Also wanted to shout out to Eastside. Their quarterback, Schrader, and the running back, Tankersley, are 2 tough customers. So also, before I sign off, I want to say, David Shelton, it's great to hear you back on the airwaves, brother.
I appreciate that. Glad to be back on.
Justin, you're saying Dorman, and this is a good thing. I mean, they're winning. They haven't played their best, according to you, so that's got to be something that they feel good about. They know they've got another gear they can get to, huh?
Yes, sir, that's correct. And it was another good night for the Dorman second unit to get in there, like quarterback Cooper Patterson. He's the future at the quarterback position, got some valuable reps in, and also all 3 running backs for Dorman, Carter Nash, the freshman, and the 2 juniors, Isaac Tate and Nick Means, all found the end zone tonight. So Dorman's got a 3-headed monster in the backfield that has really developed and continued to progress as the season has gone along. So, but hey, just a great night for the Cavaliers to celebrate a region crown, and And on a personal note, I'm very happy for head coach Jake Morris, being the Norman alumni, has done a great job with this team, as has the entire coaching staff.
What does their playoff situation look like? Do they have an opponent next week, or do they get a bye?
We will be off next week. I believe it's unofficially, I believe we'll finish as the second seed in the 5A Division I Upper State playoffs. So we will be off next week and then await our second round opponent.
Okay. Thank you, Justin. Great weekend. Talk to you next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. Justin Mathis on Dorman. David, Dorman, your take. How deep can they run?
They got as good a shot as anybody in the upper state. I mean, I'm assuming Dutch Fork's going to be in the upper state, so at some point they may have to play him. But it's kind of wide open in Division One. I mean, there's some good teams, and they're one of them. I got a score just now. Text to me. Cross 34. Baptist Hill nothing. So Cross wins that region 6A. They win 34-0 tonight, and they'll be one of the Class A teams in the lower state. Them and Bamberg and Johnsonville. Johnsonville beat Latta tonight, so that will certainly make things interesting.
What was that Latta Johnsonville score, please, and give it to me softly.
I don't remember the score. I just saw that they won. I think it was. I'm not sure. I think it was 21-6, but I could be wrong. But I know that Johnsonville won the game.
Yeah. But Latta was driving. They were driving towards the end there, from what I understand, and just came up a bit short.
If you're down 2 touchdowns, driving one time is not going to make it.
Thank you, David. That's why you're the best. Spartanburg beat Riverside. That game's over. Spartanburg wins it 20-19. Let's go to Garrett Mitchell. We keep it in the upstate. Woodruff on a heater going into the playoffs. Another big win tonight over Union County, 43-6. Wolverines looking good. Garrett, would you say they've played their best yet?
I tell you what, Phil, I think you saw pretty close to their peak against MVP. And that was, I mean, you're talking about a game that night where you're up 43-7 against a top 5 team. The last 2 weeks, including tonight, have been a little bit sloppy. Woodruff jumped out quick tonight. They were up 22-0, 3 drives into the game, and got banged up a little bit. So some guys, you need to get healthy. And from there, it really just kind of seemed like I don't even really know what the right way to put it is, but they were just kind of plodding along and being very methodical. Added 2 more scores in the second half. Certainly not the best game tonight. The defense had another nice night. Union County with 1 score late, very late. So, I mean, all in all, 9-1 for Woodruff, region champs for the first time since 2015. You go in 4-0 in conference play, and we've got West Oak at home next week in the first round. But good game for Aiden Gibson tonight, 4 rushing touchdowns. Connor Davis threw for 2. So, hey, 43-6 region win, you'll take it.
All right, so first region win since 2015, is that correct?
Yes, first region title since 2015.
2015, and Gibson tonight had what, 4 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns tonight. I've still got to add the stats up. I would venture to say he's around 130 yards rushing. Not as many carries tonight as he's typically accustomed to, which against a team like Union County, who's 1-9, you would kind of expect that. But he maximized the amount of touches he got. He maximized his opportunities.
All right, my man. Thank you very much. Playoff time next week, and we thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds like a winner. Have a great weekend, Bill.
Thank you, Garrett. Let's go to Kevin Selman, T.L. Hanna, and Greenville. Great ball game. This came down to somebody's foot there at the very end. Welcome in, Kevin Selman. How are you?
Hey, Phil. Good evening. How you doing?
Good.
Listen, before you get Hannah Teohana, Kevin, let Anderson Area Touchdown Club, Kevin, speak to you real briefly. Just want to, I know you've been to our club this year, so you're familiar with all these schools up here, but I want to, as a proud board member of the Touchdown Club, I want to say we have 8 high schools in Anderson County, represented over 3 classes, 5A, 4A, and 3A, and there's also 4 regions represented in Anderson County. Teohana is Region 1 5A champions. Wren is 4A Region 1 champions. Powdersville, Region 3A Region 1 champions, and BHP is 3A Region 2 champions. So all 4 region champions come from Anderson County in the upstate, so just proud of that.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And by the way, shout out to your Touchdown Club. You guys do a fantastic job. Touchdown clubs are, I still think, a very valuable part of our sports society in South Carolina. You guys are doing a great job of keep it of thriving up there in Anderson with your club.
Yeah, we really do, and we put a lot of work and effort into it to keep it thriving. This is high school football is big up in this area, and I'm going to tell you today we had our biggest crowd of the year. We had one more person there today than when you were there, so we'll just leave it at that. But today Mark Packer was our speaker, and he did a great job. And we have
time.
One more person there today than we did when you were there. He's a great guy. So
yeah,
now,
but he cost you.
You're going to get
Teohana,
Kevin, and
I was going to say he cost you a lot more than I cost you.
Than Phil Kornblut.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now we go to Teohana, Kevin. I'm gonna correct you on one thing. The score, you had the final score right, 27-24 Hannah over Greenville, but there's a big mistake in there. It didn't end on a field goal. And first of all, let me tell you, our stat guy was out again tonight, so I don't have stats, but I feel comfortable telling you that the Yellow Jackets did not complete a pass all night long.
Ooh.
We rushed for close to 400 yards, maybe a little bit more. The last time I estimated that, I texted you the next day and we had 570 rushing yards. So I don't know, but when I find out, I'll let you know. But anyway, this is the craziest ending to a game I've ever been a part of in my entire life. So let me just tell you how this ended. It was 21-21. By the way, the Jackets had wrapped up region last week, and tonight was basically just for seeding. Had some players injured, didn't play everybody, but a great effort all around by the Red Raiders from Greenville. So 21-21, Greenville's driving the ball, and they kick a field goal with 8 seconds remaining to go ahead, 24-21, which means that in ensuing kickoff, the only way Hannah could win was to return the kickoff. So Greenville kicked it off. They squibbed it. It went down the middle of the field, bounced out of bounds, and the Yellow Jackets let the ball go out of bounds. So they backed it up instead of having a play from your 35-yard line, knowing we don't throw the football, hence we didn't complete a pass tonight. We backed it up 5 more yards, had them kick it again, and Caden Morrell, our junior safety, returned the kick for a touchdown on the last play of the game.
Oh, my.
And Hannah won 27-24. And luckily for all the listeners out there tonight, tune into your local news tonight. It was a broadcast game by My 40 here in the upstate, so a high quality video will be available, and I'm sure to be shared by everyone. I expect to see it on ESPN tomorrow. Like I said, I've never seen anything like it in my life. Crazy, but we literally lost it on the air. You can imagine we just acted so foolish and dumb, but hey, I'd do it again. It was awesome.
How many yards was the return?
So they normally kick off from the 35. Is that correct? So they backed it up 5. Is that right? 35 or the 40? The 40. Anyway, they backed it up 5 yards. So it had been from the 35-yard line, and it was a squib kick down the middle. And one of the not one of the up backs, but not one of the deep guys caught it. Squibbed it, picked it off the ground. And our first thought, we even said on there, pitch it back to Amari, who's our speed guy. Well, he just started taking off, and next thing you know, he cuts up the middle, breaks the tackle, gets to the sidelines, and he trots all the way down the sideline. He high steps over about the 5-yard line because there's a guy right behind him who dove to get him, and he missed him. And like I said, he crossed the goal line, no time on the clock. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Unbelievable.
That is incredible. Okay, what's your playoff situation moving forward? So
as I said earlier, the Jackets clinched the region last week, so tonight was really all about seeding. So the RPI went into tonight's game. The Jackets were third behind Northwestern and Indian Lands, which played each other. So Northwestern won that game. They'll finish 1. We'll be the 2 seed. We'll get a first round bye next week, and the second round game will be at home, and we'll be the 2 seed in the upstate. Greenwood will be the 3 seed, and I'm sure Indian Land probably drops to 4. But we'll be always home throughout the playoffs, assuming we win, until we get to the upper state. Which, if both teams won, we'd have to go to Northwestern. But yeah, unbelievable night, and you got to go watch it. It's going to be on the news everywhere.
All right, we'll look for it. Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, when I saw the final score, I knew it had been tied, and then I see you won by 3, so I thought there was there would have been a field goal in there. All right, man, thank you very much. So that final turned out to be 27-24 because they were down 24-21 after that field goal. We'll have to talk more about that. The play of the night in South Carolina, if not the country, and we'll be back.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union now through October 31st, and you'll be entered to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying auto loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. Loyalty Select is our highest yield savings account. Leave it there to grow or transfer it out to spend. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners. So the earlier you get your auto loan, the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more or begin your auto loan application today. Not a Founders member yet? Visit us online or stop by an office to learn more about Founders and see if you qualify for membership. We have the financial tools you'll need and the personalized service you deserve. Relax, you're with Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
Okay, we're back on the high school scoreboard. Let's go quickly to Hugh Gray before we hit the top of the hour break. Let Hugh tell us about how Newberry took care of their business tonight, and they're rolling hot into the postseason. Another victory tonight for the Bulldogs. Hey, Hugh, welcome in. How are you?
Thanks, Phil. Good. How are you doing?
Doing fine, thank you. How about Newberry tonight?
Okay. Well, Swansea came in with a chance to do some damage to Newberry's hopes. Newberry was playing for outright region championship and an undefeated season. Swansea got the ball first, drove down into Newberry territory, had to settle for a field goal, but it was partially blocked. Newberry gets the ball on their own 4-yard line. A few plays later, Ken Caldwell hits Cash Brown on a wide receiver screen, and Cash Brown takes it 80 yards for the touchdown. 7-0 Newberry. The two teams traded possessions, and then Newberry gets the ball back. Kenton Caldwell hits Jamel House on a 21-yard touchdown. PAT's good. PAT was no good. I'm sorry. It's 13-0 Newberry. And again, trading possessions. Then right at the end of the half, Newberry gets a 27-yard field goal from Eric Rubio. It's 16-0 at half. With the opening drive, Newberry goes 70 yards. Jordan Holloway scores on an 11-yard touchdown run to make it 23-0 Newberry. When Newberry gets the ball back, Kenton Caldwell hits Cash Brown again actually this time it's a jet sweep, and Cash reverses field, goes 50 yards for the touchdown. He probably ran 75 yards to get 50 yards in the box score, but talk about maximizing your touches. That's 2 touches for Cash and 130 yards of offense and 2 touchdowns. And a little bit later, Sincere Glimpse, who played quarterback for the Bulldogs last week, hits.
All right, hold that thought, Hugh. Hugh, hang on. We got to go to the break. 43-0. Newberry won that game. We'll be right back.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Ron Taylor. We're learning more tales about an alleged terrorism plot disrupted by federal agents.
Multiple people were arrested Friday in Michigan near Detroit, and FBI Director Kash Patel says they were allegedly planning a violent attack over the Halloween weekend. In a statement, Patel said that through coordination with local partners, a potential act of terror was stopped before it could unfold. 2 people briefed on the investigation tell the AP it's believed the plot was inspired by Islamic State extremism, and those in custody may have been radicalized online. A source said some of the group discussed carrying out an attack around Halloween, referring to Pumpkin Day in an online chat room. The references to Halloween prompted the FBI to make arrests. I'm Jennifer King.
President Trump won't say whether he plans to resume underground nuclear detonation tests. More from White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
The president announced this week that he instructed the Pentagon to start testing nuclear weapons in response to other countries doing the same. But he's offering few details right now.
You'll find out very soon, but we're going to do some testing. Yeah, other countries doing. If they're going to do it, we're going to do it.
The United States has not conducted nuclear weapons tests in 3 decades. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The Trump administration is on track to continue to fund the SNAP food aid program using emergency reserve funds during the shutdown. The rulings earlier today came a day before the payments were due to be halted. SNAP is used by 1 in 8 Americans to buy groceries and is a major piece of the nation's social safety net. The administration has said that it can't fund SNAP with the government shuttered. The Red Cross says it has transferred the unidentified remains of 3 people to Israel, but an Israeli military official says they were still being examined and may not be those of missing hostages. The official said the remains had been turned over to the Red Cross by Hamas in Gaza. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Ron Taylor.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
The government shutdown claims another victim as an international U.S. broadcasting agency goes silent.
Radio Free Asia has been one of the few reliable sources of news in parts of the continent where authoritarian governments limit people's access to information. It was founded in 1996 to report on China and other Asian countries with limited press freedom, including North Korea, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Myanmar. At its peak, it was reaching 60 million listeners a week. Its exclusive and detailed reports on China's alleged systematic persecution of the Uyghur Muslim minority in Xinjiang province brought global attention to the issue.
Officials say at least 15 JetBlue passengers were injured after a sudden drop in altitude forced an emergency landing in Florida. The Thursday night flight from Cancun to Newark was diverted to Tampa International Airport. Breaking news at townhall.com.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
As a kid, you dreamed of being a firefighter one day. Now, the opportunity is yours. Answer the sound of sirens. Live your dream. Become a part of a team, a family. Visit scvolunteerfire.org to find out more.
This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornblut.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2, High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornblut, David Shelton, and the plumber, Josh Cohen. Get back to Hugh Gray in just a moment. Let him wrap up that Newberry story, give you all the scores around the state. I want to run through the PD scores here very quickly because I haven't had a chance to kind of run through that particular scoreboard. So, courtesy of WBTW, TV 13 in Florence, Myrtle Beach, taking a look at the scores they've posted. Lakeview 52, Greensea Floyd's nothing, Dillon 46, Georgetown 7. In overtime, Myrtle Beach 29, North Myrtle Beach 23, Carolina Forest 49, Conway nothing, Socastee stuns St. James 22-21. Smitty standing by with that report. West Florence 34, Spring Valley 8, South Florence 51, Hartsville 23, Wilson 28, Darlington 26, Loris 54, Ainer nothing. How about Loris? David, got to keep an eye out on the Lions, do we not, going into the postseason? Did we lose David?
I believe so. I'll work on getting them back on.
All right. Marlboro County 52, Waccamaw 14, Philip Simmons 28, Andrews 14, Atlantic Collegiate 21, Kingstree 14, Manning 40, Lake City 12, East Clarendon 42, Marion 14, Lamar 20, Louisville 14. It was Johnsonville 21, Latta 8, Sherrod 51, Chesterfield nothing. Florence Christian 49, Trinity Collegiate 20, PD Academy 57, Dillon Christian 28, Kings Academy 42, Cathedral 14. That's it from down around the PD. Great job. News 13, WBTW on your scoreboard tonight. Super job. Okay, let's go back to Hugh Gray and wrap this up if we can. Hugh, just wanted to give you a chance to kind of put a ribbon on this win tonight by Newberry and kind of sum up the night and the Bulldogs moving into the playoffs.
All right, well, kind of to sum it up, I guess, would be the 588 yards of offense that Newberry had on the night, and it was pretty evenly spaced out, about 280 yards both halves. And so that gives Newberry some momentum going into the playoffs. They played a lot of guys, got Sincere Glimp, who played quarterback last week in place of the injured Kenton Caldwell, got him some touches tonight. He threw a beautiful 50-yard touchdown pass to Jason Dunbar. So Newberry just feeling real good, a lot of energy tonight, even more than we'd seen previously. So Bulldogs got to feel good going into the playoffs. And if you get David back on the line, I know he was talking about undefeated teams going into games tonight against state champs. So Newberry did beat Clinton earlier in the year, so I didn't know if that would count in David's tally or not. So maybe he can fill us in on whether that counts or not. But other than that's the report from Newberry. We do have a Touchdown Club Monday night. If y'all can come up, we'd be glad to have you. And we'll look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, who you got next week? Do you know?
Not sure, not positive. We think it's going to be Ainer, but not positive.
The Blue Jackets. Okay. Thank you, Hugh. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Take care.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. Is David back with us?
He is not. I'll have to call him as soon as we get Smitty off. So, and weird circumstances, but as soon as Smitty's off, I can call out to David.
Let's go to Smitty, voice of the Socastee Braves, finishing up the regular season with a big win tonight on the road at St. James. And it was a thriller, Smitty, 22-21. How did the Braves pull this out?
Yeah, it was. It was an absolute heart-stopping victory for Socastee, who now goes into the playoffs with some momentum after winning the last 2 weeks, both region games. And there were 3 two-point conversions in the game. Two of them came from Socastee, including the last one in the final seconds. So Socastee was leading 14-13 in the fourth quarter, and then had the ball deep in St. James territory, looking to add to that 1-point lead, and instead threw an interception that was returned 85 yards for a touchdown by St. James. Then they went for 2 and picked it up to go on top 21-14, and there was just enough time for one drive left for Socastee. They drove it down the field, and then with under a minute left, they faced a 4th and 15 at the 20-yard line. Christian Royals, senior quarterback for Socastee, dropped back to pass. There was nowhere to turn, no one to throw to, and Royals just tucked it and ran through a couple of arm tackles on his way to a 15-yard gain, picking up 4th down and 15, and moments later he completed a pass to close the gap to 21-20, and Socastee has not been kicking PATs the last few weeks, so they just went for the win right there, ran a jet sweep to London Wilder, who was met at the 2-yard line, but he fought his way in for a 22-21 victory, so Socastee knocks off its rival. So they've beaten Conway, and they've beaten St. James in consecutive weeks. They're going to be a playoff team. They'll be on the road. And, of course, David Shelton can clean this up. But the reports we were getting tonight is it looks like Socastee will be on the road at Lugoff Elgin next week in the first round of the playoffs. And I've got to mention Elijah Owens. I talked about him last week. 30 carries, 150 yards. Tonight, 22 carries, 105 yards. So you could do the math on that, what he's done in 2 weeks. He's completely transformed this team just based on this freshman, the Brahma Bull, Elijah Owens. And, if it's Lugoff Elgin next week, this is a different team. In other words, you can throw the tape out from the first 9 weeks of the season. All that matters is what this team looks like with Elijah Owens starting at running back, and he's transformed them.
So you're saying that this team's got some momentum going into the postseason and has really improved and could be a threat going into round number 1.
Yeah, now, obviously, Socastee has not won a playoff game. I don't have their history in front of me, but it's been a while. Stephen Duggan, who coached at the school, thinks it may date back to the Hunter Renfro days. So, and of course, they'll be on the road, and they'll be playing a good football team. So all of those factors work against them, but what they have done is, now that they've got a player they rely on in the backfield, they kind of have an identity for a change. And last 2 weeks, Conway, St. James, in both of those games, they've made critical mistakes, but they fought back and overcome them and just played with confidence. So there's just a lot of positivity around the program right now because of the way they've played the last 2 weeks and picked up. And the week before that, by the way, they only lost to Myrtle Beach 21-13, and they were absolutely in that game. So that's 3 weeks in a row that Socastee has played 3 tight, tough games, and they've won the last 2.
Okay, Smitty, great job as always. Enjoy your trip up to Clemson tomorrow. Clemson and Duke. Don't be late. Noon kickoff.
I'll be leaving momentarily, and I've got to get off the phone so you can get David Shelton back on. Please tell him from me and everybody that Friday nights are not the same without him. I am so glad to hear him back on the air. I hope he's feeling better, and everybody relies on him. And he's a big part of what we do in this state in terms of coverage. So, got to have him. So, I'll hop off because David Shelton's a trade-up.
Absolutely. I certainly need him. Okay, thank you, Smitty. Safe travels tomorrow, and appreciate that. Let's go to, while we get David back on the horn, all right, we got Thomas Grant, who was at that Dutch Fork Irmo game tonight, as I'm sure every media person, every high school media person in the Midlands was probably there tonight with you, Thomas, and you saw a good one with Dutch Fork winning 21-14. Must have been a physical, hard-fought, defensive kind of game tonight. How did Dutch Fork win it?
Well, actually, the score was actually 28-21, the final. And
okay, I should get the score right. All right.
Yeah, it turned into a barn-burner. Like you were saying, everybody's there. I mean, in fact, you had the commissioner of the high school league, Jerome Singleton, and then you had a couple of coaches, in particular, Clemson assistant Chris Rump, he was there. I understand there was some South Carolina assistants there as well, watching some of the players because there were quite a few, and particularly on the defensive lines and offensive lines on both of these teams. But going to the game itself, I mean, it was it started off actually on almost third series. Drayvon Dobson drops back and he ends up throwing a 79-yard touchdown pass to Corey Miller, and that's the younger brother of Malik Miller, and that was the first of his 2 touchdown receptions in the game, and that made it 7-0. And for the most part, defensively, Irmo had shut down Dutch Fork in the first 3 series. Dutch Fork only had 1 first down, but then Irmo had a series where they had 3 false start penalties, which backed them up to the 7. And from that point on, the next 3 series Dutch Fork had, they were able to get good field position where they were able to get the ball inside of Irmo's at the 42-yard line, the 43-yard line, and at their own 48. And on the next series after that bad series by Irmo, Dutch Fork was able to tie the game in the second quarter on a 1-yard run by Quentin Wilson. They were able to get the ball back again at their own 48, drove downfield, getting a mix of runs from both Kyle Henry and also from quarterback Jackson Knox to get back in the field position to set up a 5-yard swing pass in which Henry was able to score to make it 14-7. And then just before the half, Dutch Fork had one more drive where they were able to score again. This time it was a 16-yard touchdown pass where Jackson was able to throw it in the corner for Stone Fleury to make a one-handed catch while he was being guarded and able to just sort of get past the defender into the corner of the end zone, and that made it 21-7 at the half. And that score stayed that way through the third quarter into the fourth, where in the fourth, Dutch Fork went on a 17-play, 84-yard drive that was highlighted by a play in which, during an RPO, the running back looked like he was getting tackled for a loss, but as he was getting tackled down, Jackson snatched the ball out of his hands and ended up running for a 6-yard gain to keep the drive alive, and then that drive ends with a touchdown run by him, and so it's 28-7. So at that point, with about 6 minutes left, Coach Aaron Brand decides to substitute Drayvon Dobson, who'd been struggling, for a left-hander, Britton Davis, and he comes off, and so he comes in, and on his second play, he ends up finding Corey Miller for a 42-yard touchdown pass, in which it was almost this time where the defender deflected the ball, but Corey ends up catching the deflection and goes into the end zone to make it a 28-14. On the next series, Jackson gets sacked, loses the ball. Irmo gets the ball back inside Dutch Fork territory, and once again, at the 26-yard line, then 2 plays later, Britton Davis finds this time Malik Miller, and it's deja vu, which he gets the deflection where it seemed like 2 defenders had a chance for the ball, but it bounces off one and then ends into Malik's hands, and it makes it 28-21. So they scored 14 points in a span of less than a minute. So they're able to get the ball back with less than 2 minutes left, and once again he fires a long pass of 42 yards to Corey Miller to bring them into Dutch Fork territory again. Unfortunately, they only have 1 timeout left, so with less than a minute left now. So they were able to get the ball all the way to the 4-yard line, and with they had a 3rd and 1 at the 4-yard line, but to the last 2 downs, they went for 2 passes, and both went incomplete. And the last one with about 22 seconds left, and that was the last chance that Irmo had to win the game. So Dutch Fork was able to just basically down the ball where basically Jackson had to dive out of the end zone for just a 2-yard loss, and then that ended the game. So it made it 28-21. Now this snapped Irmo's 27 home game winning streak. The last loss came at the hands of Lenore Sellers and South Florence back in 2021. Meanwhile, Dutch Fork wins their 15th region title. This is their 8th straight win against Irmo, and they're now 49-2 since 2015 in region play. So now both teams actually will be top seeds going into the playoffs, and it wouldn't surprise me if you see both of them once again playing for state titles going into Orangeburg.
Yeah, sounds like it. Thomas, thank you very much. Would not have expected anything different, David Shelton, in that ball game. The fact that both of these teams have a lot of heart, a lot of talent, and it comes right down to about the last play of the game with a chance to tie or win if they score and go for 2. So no surprise that this turned out to be a great ball game.
No, I think everybody thought it was. When it was 28-7, I was like, wow, Dutch Fork is making a statement. But Irmo never quit, and that's why Irmo will probably be in the state finals again, because their kids don't quit.
Yeah, I know winning the state championship is the ultimate thing, but boy, winning that crosstown rival and not getting a chance in the playoffs to make it up, that stings just a little bit, does it not?
Yeah, they'll get over it. They'll I would assume they'll probably get a bye next week, so they'll have some time to reset. But yeah, you want to beat your rival, and you want to beat Dutch Fork. But the bigger prize is waiting in December for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, we're going to have a Game 7 in the World Series tomorrow. The Dodgers have beaten Toronto to even the series at 3 apiece, 3-1, the final score tonight. So we're going to have a Game 7 in the World Series. What more could you ask for there? Game 7s, of course, are very special indeed. And so the Dodgers and Blue Jays going back and forth, and the Dodgers have tied it up to force a Game 7 tomorrow night. Billy Baker's coming up. Got a hot call from Billy Baker, and he's at a Waffle House, no less. That's coming up. Be right back.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
You work hard for your money. Shouldn't your money work hard for you too? Think about all the hours you've put in, the late nights, the early mornings, the dedication to your craft. Now imagine those dollars doing some of the heavy lifting for a change, growing quietly in the background while you focus on what matters most. Whether you're saving for a dream vacation, a new home, or just building a cushion for peace of mind, putting your money to work is one of the smartest moves you can make. Open a certificate at Founders Federal Credit Union and earn more with your savings. For a limited time only, Founders is offering 18-month certificates at 4.32% annual percentage yield and 18-month IRA certificates at 4.58% annual percentage yield. To get started, visit foundersfcu.com/dividend rates or one of our many convenient office locations. All you need is $500 to get started, but don't delay. These rates won't last. Open your certificate today. Your future self will thank you for opening a certificate at Founders. Federally insured by the NCUA. Membership qualification required. $500 minimum balance. 18-month term. Dividends compound quarterly. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
Okay, back on the high school scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Let's go to Billy Baker with a hot call. What is he, smothered and covered and everything
Diced
else tonight?
And pickled, yep.
At Waffle House, home run special. Hello, Billy.
Hey, Phil. Phil.
Go ahead, Billy. We got you.
I've always wanted to say, live from the Waffle House, I started out the night at Lynchburg Academy's 36-21 win over Dorchester Academy. We're in the region. That game was over at 9:30, and the visiting coach was long gone, Will Fuse, about 9:45. So I come home to the Waffle House, and who walks in the door? Sean Wright from Cross High School, 9-1, defeats Baptist Hill 34-0. Last year, Cross played in the Class A state finals against Abbeville. I told Coach Wright, don't leave. It'll be live from the Waffle House. So here is Sean Wright, who won the region tonight over Baptist Hill, and he coaches a great player named Caden Ramsey, who's pledged to South Carolina. I give you Sean Wright live from the Waffle House.
All right.
What's going on, Phil?
Congratulations, Coach. I hope we're not catching you between bites here.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. Kids work hard. Coaches work hard from January to July. And, right now is allowed us to win a region championship. So we'll see what else we can get mustered up in the playoffs.
There you go. 34-0. You did it with emphasis tonight. Obviously, the defense played extremely well.
Yes, sir, they did. And we had 2 touchdowns called back. So on offense, but hats off to Baptist Hill. I thought they played us tough. Especially in the second half. We kind of did some things that they didn't see in the first half, and so. But I thought they played tough. But defensively, my defensive coordinator is Mike Mahoney, and
Marcus McCullum. Those guys are as good as advertised, especially on our level. I mean, they could coach anywhere, but, the way they prepare our kids to play and, what our kids, the information that our kids know about the other teams, I'm just extremely grateful to have these adults and these kids and where we are right now.
How do you like the way your guys are playing going into the postseason?
Very, very tough. We're getting a lot of effort, and that's what I asked, from day one. I told the guys, we're not going to probably show up and be bigger or faster, than a lot of teams that we play, but none of that has to do anything with effort. And so that's what I'm extremely proud about is the effort, the will to get to the football, the will to communicate up front on offense, and the will to just, play as a team. And that's what that's what this program is about at Cross. And so, it's just, these kids, they know the traditions, and we just trying to carry it on.
What's up for you as far as the playoffs go?
It looks like we are supposed to draw Green Sea Floyd's, but, I was able to talk to the AD today, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to go next week because of numbers. So there could be a possibility that we don't have a first-round playoff game against Green Sea. So, yeah, that's it's kind of a blessing, and I don't want to call it a curse, but, you want to keep momentum going, but also I got some kids banged up that could get healthy, so it'll be a blessing for us.
Hey, we thank you very much. Thanks to Billy Baker. Coach, good luck. We'll talk to you again. Coach Sean Wright from Cross, region champs, and we'll be back.
This is Fran Halloran, the Money Coach. Grow with the Point as we build on 10 incredible years of community local radio. We've built an environment where our listeners are our family. Are you a small business with big dreams? Join the tremendous stable of advertising partners at The Point. Connect with Kevin Cohen and brainstorm a tailored strategy to escalate your business growth using the powerful platform of The Point. Call Kev directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, you can make the next year your best year.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. That's 800-380-4452.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. The Trump administration is on track to continue to fund the SNAP food aid program using emergency reserve funds during the government shutdown. The decision earlier today came a day before the payments were due to be halted. SNAP is used by 1 in 8 Americans to buy groceries and is a major piece of the nation's social safety net. However, the administration has said that it can't fund SNAP with the government shuttered. The president is now calling on the Senate to scrap the filibuster. That's so the Republican majority can bypass Democrats and reopen the shutdown federal government. Trump on social media calling to get rid of the 60-vote threshold in the Senate, the nuclear option. His call to do so came as certain senators and House Speaker Mike Johnson know it's time for the government shutdown to come to an end. The Red Cross says it's transferred the unidentified remains of 3 people to Israel, but an Israeli military official says they were still being examined and may not be those of hostages. This is SRN News.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
This Panther Update is brought to you by UNC Charlotte.
After losing in a blowout at home to one of the top teams in the AFC, the Panthers now go on the road to face one of the toughest teams in the NFC as they visit the Green Bay Packers. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers Update after this.
Charlotte's momentum has a name, UNC Charlotte, 32,000 students strong, ranked among the nation's top 75 public universities, recognized at the highest level for research, unmatched access to Fortune 500 companies, built for a top-tier city. This isn't typical higher ed. The difference is scale. The difference is momentum. The difference is Charlotte, UNC Charlotte.
Trying to bounce back from their loss to Buffalo, the Panthers visit the 5-1-1 Green Bay Packers on Sunday. They're coming off a 35-25 win over Pittsburgh. Tight end Tucker Kraft had a monstrous game with 7 catches for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Panthers linebacker Christian Roseboom on trying to keep him in check.
Yeah, he's strong. It's going to take more than one a lot of times. So, just fly to the ball. I think this league has so many good players, and he's one of them for sure. So, just being close to him on the checkdowns, but at the same time, just do what we need to do to, get off the field, get the ball back to our offense.
Defensively, Green Bay swung a huge deal to acquire All-Pro edge rusher Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys. Panthers center Austin Corbett on the challenge that he provides.
Yeah, just a phenomenal athlete. He's got all the tools when it comes to an edge rusher. He's out on the edge. He'll come inside, over the center. He'll do it all from the depth of the linebacker level. Just a phenomenal athlete, and really, it's the great effort. I think you see so many plays, him chasing things down.
I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network.
This Panther Update has been brought to you by UNC Charlotte, built for a top-tier city. The difference is Charlotte. UNC Charlotte.
As an organ donor, your story doesn't have to end. The good in you can live on. In fact, you could save up to 8 lives and restore sight and health for many more. Sign up right now online as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. You'll be happy you did. And just maybe, someone else will be happy too. Go to organdonor.gov. It saves lives. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Local in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Columbia's local talk radio experience. 107 The Point.
Make thepointradio.com.
The Point.
Welcome back, everybody. High school football scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Complete rundown of all the scores we have in coming up shortly. We've got some folks who've been waiting. Appreciate the patience, including Lou Bajak, Scoop from the State, thestate.com, who was over at that Dutch Fork Irmo game tonight as well. And can't wait to get his take on what went down 28-21. And what a finish. Welcome in, Lou, great to have you with us. Did you think Irmo was gonna pull it out at the end, at least get in there and maybe tie it or have a chance to go for 2?
Well, yeah, Coach Brand told me after the game he was going for 2 if they scored. There was no doubt that he was going to go for 2. And he also took the blame. He blamed himself for the play call and having 3rd and 1. Even though they didn't have any timeouts, you get a first down, you run up the middle, you could spike it, and you have 3 downs. He was kind of beside himself how he did, so he kind of took the blame after his team fought back to win, and they do that. So yeah, it was a great game, great crowd, great atmosphere, a lot of trash talking, and interesting in pregame with some stuff that happened during the week between the two teams. So yeah, it was a great game, and I think both of them will be playing late in November, early December.
So what kind of things happened in the pregame that were building up from the back and forth during the week? Anything
well, I guess it came on to Dutch Fork's attention, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, that someone had logged on to their huddle, a player from Irmo that was, I think he played in Dutch Fork Middle School or whatever, but somehow had the login, and you could track it. And so you watched, Coach Knott said they watched 2 hours of film this morning, and I think I heard one coach has told me 18 hours of film during the week, because you can monitor, make sure your kids are watching the film. So yeah, so that was a little. There were some words that Coach Knott's and Coach Brand's talked during the beginning. Coach Brand said after the game that he had no idea and no knowledge of it, and Coach Knott said he took him at his word. So we'll see, but yeah, Coach Knott definitely was not happy after the game with that incident. Anyway.
David Shelton, you got anything for Scoop?
Yeah, Lou. When you look at Dutch Fork, and you've seen them, God, you've seen them so much, probably more than anybody in the state that covers prep sports. How they're not the most talented team in the South Carolina. I mean, most years they're not. Most years you can point to another team and go, they got more talent. What does it say about not just Coach Knott, but the staff that he has? They just, in big games, I mean, you can't beat them.
No, that's what I thought. I thought coming into the game, I thought Irmo was probably a little more talented team, but I picked Dutch Fork because until you beat them, you got to beat. I mean, it's you're right. They scrap, and this is not the big deep playmakers that they usually have that could stretch field. Stone Fury's pretty good in that, but they're used to have a game breaker, and they don't. They're very solid on the offensive line. Brody Lorenzo was amazing at center, and he played some tackle tonight. This kid's got a bright future blocking. They run the ball. They just didn't turn it over. They did turn it over once, and it nearly cost them there. But I mean, they didn't really beat themselves tonight, giving up a couple big plays. But if they just scrap and they really are fundamentally sound, and you got a guy like Jackson Knotts. This is his first year as starting quarterback, and he's kind of growing through coming into his own. And the running backs, they got Cal Henry and Quentin Wilson, and it's a scrappy team. It's more of a blue collar team, not a lot of flash. They got the flash on defense with the two DNs and Walker and Worth, but yeah, it's just a blue collar tough team that's going to be a tough out, and that's going to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So someone's going to have to go there and beat them.
Lou, would you say it was a well-played game, generally speaking? It came right down to the end, so it was exciting. Was it a well-played game?
Yeah, it was. I thought personal fouls. I mean, there was only one. There was targeting, and there wasn't really. There was stuff in the pregame, but not. I mean, there was a few mistakes. Irmo had a costly false start that cost him a long run, and after they had the lead early. But for the most part, not too much. He had one turnover, the fumble, and yeah, I thought it was a well played game. Two great teams that are just great for high school football, and especially here in the Midlands.
So I know you had an eye on the sidelines. What'd you see as far as college coaches out there? Because that's a ton of talent between those two teams, a ton of college talent out there. Who'd you see?
Yeah, I saw Sterling Lucas. I talked to him a little bit. He was getting ready to go back on the plane go to Mississippi, and Chris Rump, I think Thomas mentioned that, and I saw Marshall, assistant coach. Last night I saw a couple, Northwestern and Wisconsin were at AC Flora Camden. They were looking at Azel Benag, defensive back from AC Flora.
Yeah, been reading some things about him. Interesting. So Sterling Lucas had to fly on a different plane because the team's gone, right? The team is they left this afternoon.
And I'm not sure if Coach Fury was there or not, because obviously his son was playing. I don't know. If he was in the crowd. He wouldn't have been on the sideline. So I'm not sure if he was there or not.
All right. Anything else around the Midlands last night, tonight, that raised your eyebrows a little bit, caught your attention?
The Saluda-Batesburg game seemed to be wild. Like the Dutch Fork game, is 28-24. Batesburg up. Saluda ties it. They go in overtime. Batesburg scores. And then Saluda scores. Batesburg gets called for offside. They decide to go for two, and then they get tackled at the goal line. So that was a fun game. I think that's 2 1-point losses for Saluda. Tough losses, and Batesburg, Madre Wood, another big game, just under 200 yards. He was going for his 7th straight 200-yard rushing game. I think he finished with 199.
That guy has been something. He's been special all year long. Yeah. Okay, I know we're looking forward to the playoffs, your coverage on the state.com and the state newspaper, and your thoughts about the playoffs beginning next week. What are you looking for moving forward? Some of the normal, or we're going to see somebody pop up out of nowhere?
I think we're going to see a little bit more parity. I think especially, I don't know what's going to happen. You got Dutch Fork in the upper state there, and who's going to come out of the lower state? I know you got Somerville, James Island, Sumter, Carolina Forest. That's going to be fun. I think 3A is wide open. 3A and 2A I think, are very unpredictable. I think Oceanside definitely is one of the favorites in 3A for sure in the lower state, but I think that upper state can go any amount of ways. In 2A, they've been seeming beat each other up this year, and the 2A polls reflected it each week. A lot of movement, so that's going to be fun to see how that shapes out. And do we see Abbeville and Cross again in Class A, or Bamberg there? So that's always going to be fun to see.
All right. A lot of folks doing things with two-point conversions tonight, good and bad. All I got to say is, whatever you think about using and going for a two-point conversion, don't ask South Carolina special teams coach Joe DeCamillis about it.
No, definitely not. He was a little heated this week. Don't talk about it. I guess he was more about the different, the analysts and all that all week. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, in his mind, if you've never played the game, you don't know anything about the game, so shut up. That's pretty much his view. Okay, Scoop. Thank you, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Good hearing from you, David, too.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Hey, David, did you hear those comments of Coach DeCamillis from this week?
No, I'll be honest with you. This week I didn't hear a whole lot of comments from anything except doctors.
There you go. Okay, I hear you. Well, just to sum it up, he said he was asked about it going back to the South Carolina failed two-point conversion early in the third quarter against Alabama. And, the theory by some, why chase the point so early, kick the extra point, and then that, as things had worked out, the way things worked out, South Carolina, had they kicked that extra point instead of failed on the two-point conversion, they'd have been up 9 instead of 8, meaning Alabama would have been facing a two-possession difference there. Boy, he was asked that question. He didn't lose his cool, but he just said, man, these people who are criticizing that decision to go don't know what they're talking about. You're a podcaster. You're in the media. You've never played the game. You've never been in a position to make that kind of decision. Basically, shut up. I don't want to hear what you have to say. So I thought it was great. I love it when coaches get irritated like that. So, but I don't know. A lot of people think going forward in the third quarter is too early to be chasing a point like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, exactly, it's way too early. And I don't know who came up with it, but I remember several years ago, a coach made the comment, "You don't go for 2 until you have to go for 2." Mm-hmm. And if you live by that premise, then you don't make that decision in the third quarter to go up. That if you don't need the 2, then don't go for 2. But I'm seeing a lot of guys go for 2 now. It's 6-0. Hey, let's go for 2. Why? You got a kicker there, probably on scholarship. You're paying to feed him every week. So let the guy kick the football. And but I just always thought, and I know he's a great coach. He knows way more football than I'll ever know. But just because you didn't play the game doesn't mean you can't have an opinion and analyze situations. That makes sense. I know a lot of people that I talk football with and baseball with that were never great players and never played past Little League, but they know the game. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's fair for him to. It is what it is. If you can't handle guys, questioning you, then you probably need to go sell insurance or something.
All right, let's go quickly before our next break, and we come back and run through the scores. Appreciate Richard Sally hanging on. Orangeburg Prep, I'm sorry. A story on Orangeburg Prep tonight and SCISA action. SCISA playoffs coming up next week. OP and Thomas Sumter tonight. And how'd that turn out? Richard, how'd that game turn out tonight?
Hey, Phil. It turned out OP had a strong second half and came away with a 24-6 win over Thomas Sumter. No scoring in the first half. We kind of ran the ball between the 30-yard lines, but neither team could punch it in. But beginning the third quarter, 8:10 to go in the third quarter, Charlie Williams hits T. Riley on an 11-yard touchdown pass. The extra point fails, 6-0 OP. 5:14 to go in the third. Jace Williams of Thomas Sumter hits Sam Petrovsky on a 4-yard touchdown to tie it up at 6-all. 2:39 to go in the third quarter. Charlie Williams hits T. Riley on a 3-yard touchdown pass, 12-6 OP. 11:33 to go in the fourth quarter. Charlie Williams hits T. Riley On a 75-yard touchdown pass, OP goes up 18-6. And then with 9:22 to go in the fourth, Council Burrows intercepts the ball on the 10-yard line and returns it 90 yards for a pick six for a 24-6 final score.
And what's up next?
Well, Orangeburg Prep has won 4 in a row. They have a record of 7-3, 3-2 in region play. We will play, it sounds like, PD Academy next week in Mullins in the first round of the SCISA playoffs, Region 2A.
Very good. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you next week. Great report.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for waiting. And we run to the break. We'll come back and run through all the scores. I think we've cleared the board. So any of you folks been trying to get through with reports, feel free to hit us up. That phone number, 888-898-2525. We'll get you on the air with your report and hear what you have to say. In the meantime, we'll run through all the scores and get more from David when we come back from this break. High School Scoreboard, Founders Federal Credit Union.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
You work hard for your money. Shouldn't your money work hard for you too? Think about all the hours you've put in, the late nights, the early mornings, the dedication to your craft. Now imagine those dollars doing some of the heavy lifting for a change, growing quietly in the background while you focus on what matters most. Whether you're saving for a dream vacation, a new home, or just building a cushion for peace of mind, putting your money to work is one of the smartest moves you can make. Open a certificate at Founders Federal Credit Union and earn more with your savings. For a limited time only, Founders is offering 18-month certificates at 4.32% annual percentage yield and 18-month IRA certificates at 4.58% annual percentage yield. To get started, visit foundersfcu.com/dividend rates or one of our many convenient office locations. All you need is $500 to get started, but don't delay. These rates won't last. Open your certificate today. Your future self will thank you for opening a certificate at Founders. Federally insured by the NCUA. Membership qualification required. $500 minimum balance. 18-month term. Dividends compound quarterly. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosseller-Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with the family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
Blues Gators. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's going to be ugly. That's going to be ugly tomorrow in Jacksonville. I'm not even going to watch. Georgia's going to, shall we say, walk the dog.
Phil, you're going to watch, and you're going to wear your Gator hat, and you're going to wear your Gator shirt, You might even wear your Gator underwear and Gator pajama pants. You never really know.
Nope, not happening. Okay, across the upstate, Abbeville 37, Ware Shoals 16, Blue Ridge 43, Berea nothing. Burns 42, Boiling Springs 14. Southside Christian 56, Carolina 6. Broome 36, Chapman 33, Chesney 64, Landrum 24, Christchurch 41, Palmetto 31, Dorman 49, Eastside 12, Fountain Inn 63, Southside nothing, Gaffney 39, Wade Hampton nothing, T.L. Hanna 27, Greenville 24, Greenwood 40, Easley 7, Daniel 33, Greer 7, Malden 48, Mann 6, Emerald 23, Lawrence 17, Liberty 7, Blacksburg nothing, Dixie 41, McCormick 12, Strom Thurmond 32, 96-10, Crescent 28, Pendleton 21, Spartanburg 20, Riverside 19, Powdersville 48, St. Joseph 28, Pickens 49, Travelers Rest 27, Woodruff 43, Union County 6, Belton Honeypath 62, Walhalla 7. A score that we found on Max Preps, I can't swear by it, Whitmire 58, Calhoun Falls 42. Don't hold me to it. Hillcrest 44, Woodmont 8, Westside 21, Wren 7. Rock Hill area. Andrew Jackson 43, Buford nothing. In overtime, Catawba Ridge 22, Clover 21. Fort Mill 42, Nation Ford 35. York 36, Lancaster 7. Central 42, North Central 7. Northwestern 51, Indianland 13, and South Point 70, Richland Northeast nothing. CSRA, North Augusta 42, Midland Valley 23, Hunter County Tyler 28, Rich Spring Monetta nothing. Silver Bluff 34, Fox Creek 6, South Aiken 23, Aiken 7. Around the Midlands, AC Flora 40, Camden 28, Airport 20, Brooklyn Casey 13. In overtime, Batesburg Leesville 35, Saluda 34, Crestwood 35, Lakewood 22, Eau Claire 20, Mid Carolina 6, Fairfield Central 44, Columbia nothing, Gray Collegiate 40, Gilbert nothing, Dutch Fork 28, Irmo 21, Newberry 43, Swansea nothing, Oceanside Collegiate 49, Orangeburg Wilkinson 13, Pillion 56, American Leadership 7, Ridgeview 39, Blythewood 7, River Bluff 38, Lexington 17, West Florence 34, Spring Valley 8, Sumter 52, Westwood 27, White Knoll 42, Chapin 7, Bamberg Earhart 56, Denmark Olar nothing. Still looking for Edisto Lake Marion, Wagner Sally Calhoun County. If you can text it to us, text it to 803-900-4847. 803-900-4847. PD Grand Strand. Philip Simmons 28, Andrews 14, Sheraw 51, Chesterfield nothing. Carolina Forest 49, Conway nothing. East Clarendon 42, Marion 14. Dillon 46, Georgetown 7. Johnsonville 21, Latta 8. Atlantic Collegiate 21, Kingstree 14. Lakeview 52, Green Sea Floyds nothing. Lamar 20, Louisville 14. C.A. Johnson 30, Lee Central 20. Loris 54, Ainer nothing. Manning 40, Lake City 12. McBee 35, Great Falls 24. Myrtle Beach 29, North Myrtle Beach 23. Scotts Branch 40, Military Magnet nothing. South Florence 51, Hartsville 23. Socastee 22, St. James 21. Marlboro County 52, Waccamaw 14. Wilson 28, Darlington 26. Low Country. Hanahan 31, Battery Creek 21. Berkeley 35, Cane Bay 7. Bishop England 55, Colleton County nothing. Bluffton 28, May River 21. Academic Magnet 45, Burke nothing. Cross 34, Baptist Hill nothing. Stratford 48, Goose Creek nothing. Hilton Head 53, Beaufort 20. Lucy Beckham 31, Wando 14. James Island 55, Stall nothing. Somerville 37, Fort Dorchester 14. Timberland 38, Woodland nothing. Ashley Ridge 35, West Ashley nothing. Barnwell 43, Well Branch 12. Looking for Branchville St. John's, Williston Elko, Blackville Hilda, Hardyville, Allendale Fairfax. Text number 803-900-4847. And Skeeza, Augusta Christian 31, Ben Lippin 28, Camden Military 56, Northside Christian 37, Kings Academy 42, Cathedral Academy 14, Wilson Hall 35, First Baptist 14, Florence Christian 49, Trinity Collegiate 20, Greenwood Christian 23, Spartanburg Christian 6, Hammond 57, Cardinal Newman nothing, Northwood 39, Heathwood Hall 20, Hilton Head Christian 33, Hilton Head Prep 21, Holly Hill Academy 46, Jeff Davis 32, Pinewood Prep 48, John Paul II 28, W.W. King 44, Lawrence Academy 22, OP 24, Thomas Sumter 6, Patrick Henry 26, Andrew Jackson 6, PD Academy 57, Dillon Christian 28, Bethesda 51, St. John's Christian 13, Thomas Hayward 32, Buford Academy 27, Wardlaw 50, Richard Wynn 28, Williamsburg Academy 36, Dorchester Academy 21. All right, that'll do it. David Shelton, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Glad you're back. Look forward to having you with us next week for the playoffs.
Sounds good, bud.
Have yourself a great weekend. David Shelton, thank you, Plummer, Josh Cohen, for your great work. Thanks to everybody that called in with their reports tonight. Thanks to everybody that played the game, coached the game, refereed the game, sold the concessions, took up the tickets, and sat in the stands. Have yourselves a great week. Talk to you next week.